Hello, 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 and welcome. This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and welcome to my program. I am an author, speaker, seminar leader, coach, and so on. But what I want you to know, that on this show, I intend to share with you the things that will allow you to manifest the life that you desire. We explore the world of positive thinking, law of attraction, and consciousness from many points of view. This information will enlighten and empower you in your life, and I am here to encourage you to think in the positive and show that miracles can happen, because I truly believe you have been given the power of the word and thought to create the life you desire. Well, hello and welcome. Today I have, what do I want to say it? It's going to be kind of a reboot. So back in October, November of 2021, I recorded I Shall Never Want. And you will find that recording in the playlist for Harry and Meghan, because I talked about how this particular topic was applicable to them. I'll try to put a link to that at the end of this video. It's still getting its information from Florence Scovel Shinn, and from her particular book and her, what I want to call it, the composite of a lot of her talks called The Secret Door of Success. And the title of that section is I Shall Never Want. And so that's what I'm going to read to you today. I, of course, will make my commentary, but I also would like you to listen to the other commentary I made, because over time, I get new insights. Over time, as I continue to read and study, I learn new things. And so, just like you, your perspective changes as you grow and learn. And so, that's what I'm doing today. And so this is I Shall Never Want. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And this comes from Psalms, the book of Psalms in the Old Testament, 23rd chapter, verse 1. The 23rd Psalm is the best known of all the Psalms. We might say that it is the keystone to the message of the Bible. It tells man he shall never want. When he has the realization or conviction that the Lord is his shepherd, the realization that infinite intelligence supplies every need. If you get this conviction today, every need will be met now and forevermore. You will draw instantly from the abundance of the spheres whatever you desire or require. For what you need is already on your pathway. And I've said this before as I've talked to you, that when you ask for something, you visualize something, and you visualize it to the point where you come out of the visualization and will go, wow, that felt real. That was real, because it is created in the invisible, and it's just waiting or looking with your assistance for a way to bring it into the physical. Sometimes We don't have to do anything. A woman suddenly had the realization, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall never want. She seemed to be touching her invisible supply. She felt outside of time and space. She no longer relied on the external. Her first demonstration was a small but necessary one. She needed at once some large paper clips, but had no time to go to a stationer's to buy them. In looking for something else, she opened a little used chest, and in it she found about a dozen large paper clips. She felt that the law was working and gave thanks. Then some needed money appeared. Things large and small came her way. Since then she has relied upon the statement, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall never want. Now, I just want to stop here because I'm going to go back and reread that first verse from Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Have you caught the difference? Have you caught the difference in the words? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So you're saying, I just won't want for it, right? I know that my supply is coming. But then doubt sometimes, and I shall not want, okay. But this one is, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall never want. Right? I shall never want. We used to hear people say, I do not think it is right to ask God for money or things. I did not realize that this creative principle is within each man, the Father within. True spirituality is proving God is your supply daily, not just once in a while. Jesus Christ knew this law, for whatever he desired or required appeared immediately on his pathway. The loaves and fishes and money from the fish's mouth. With this realization, all hoarding and saving would disappear. This does not mean that you should not have a big bank account and investments, but it does mean that you should not depend upon them. For if you had a loss in one direction, you would have a gain in another. Always your brains would be full and your cup flow over. Now, how does one make this contact with his invisible supply? By taking a statement of truth which clicks and gives him realization. This is not open to a chosen few. Whosoever calleth on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. The Lord is your shepherd, and my shepherd, and everybody's shepherd. God is the supreme intelligence devoted to supplying man's need. The explanation is that man is God in action. Jesus Christ said, I and the Father are one. We might paraphrase the statement and say, I and the great creative principle of the universe are one and the same. Let me repeat that. I and the great creative principle of the universe are one and the same. Man only lacks when he loses his contact with this creative principle, which must be fully trusted, for it is pure intelligence and knows the way of fulfillment. The reasoning mind and personal will cause a short circuit. Trust in me, and I will bring it to pass. Most people are filled with apprehension and dread when there is nothing to cling to on the external. A woman came to a practitioner and said, I'm only a poor little woman with no one but God back of me." The practitioner said, "You need not worry if you have God back of you, for all that the kingdom affords is yours." A woman called me on the phone and said, almost in tears, "I am so worried about the business situation." I replied, "The situation with God remains the same. The Lord is your shepherd, you shall not want. If one door shuts, another one opens." A very successful businessman who conducts all affairs on truth methods said, "The trouble with most people is that they get to relying on certain conditions. They haven't enough imagination to go forward to open new channels." Nearly every big business is built upon a failure. I was told that Edgar Bergen lost his part in a Broadway production because they did not want any more dummies. And for those of you who are young, Edgar Bergen was a ventriloquist, and he had a dummy that he threw his voice into, and that was his first name was Charlie. So let me continue. Noel Coward got him on the Rudy Valley Radio Hour, and he and Charlie McCarthy became famous overnight. Now, back then, it was a lot of radio. There was no television. And Noel Coward was the Oprah Winfrey of that time frame. They got on the Noel show. They were set to be famous. Continuing, I told the story at one of my meetings of a man who was so poor and discouraged that he ended it all. A few days later came a letter notifying him that he had inherited a large fortune. Now that was tough. That was really tough. He took his life, and all he had to do was wait a couple more days for an answer. A man in a meeting said, "That means when you want to be dead, your demonstration is 3 days off." Yes, do not be fooled by the darkness before the dawn. It's a good thing to see the dawn once in a while, to convince you how unfailing it is. It reminds me of an experience of several years ago. I had a friend who lived in Brooklyn near Prospect Park. She liked to do unusual things and said to me, "Come to visit me and we'll get up early and see the sunrise in Prospect Park." At first I refused, and then came the hunch that it would be an interesting experience. It was in the summer. We got up about 4 o'clock. My friend, her little daughter, and myself. It was pitch dark, but we sallied forth down the street to the entrance of the park. Some policemen eyed us curiously, but my friend said to them with dignity, "We are going to see the sunrise," and it seemed to satisfy them. We walked through the park to the beautiful rose garden. A faint pink streak appeared in the east, and then suddenly we heard a most tremendous uproar. We were near the zoo, and all the animals were greeting the dawn. The lions and tigers roared. The hyenas laughed. There were shrieks and howls. Every animal had something to say, for a new day was at hand. It was indeed most inspiring. The light slanted through the trees. Everything had an unearthly aspect. Then, as it grew lighter, our shadows were in front instead of behind us. The dawn of a new day. This is the wonderful dawn which comes to each of us after some darkness. Your dawn of success, happiness, and abundance is sure to come. Every day is important, for we read in the wonderful Sanskrit poem, "Look well, therefore, to this day, which is the salutation of the dawn." This day, the Lord is your shepherd. This day, you shall not want, as you and this great creative principle are one and the same. The 34th Psalm is also a psalm of security. It starts with a blessing for the Lord. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. They that seek the Lord shall not want any good thing. Seeking the Lord means that man must make the first move. Draw near to me, and I will draw near to thee, saith the Lord. Ye seek the Lord by making your affirmation, expecting and preparing for your good. If you ask for success and prepare for failure, you will receive the thing you have prepared for. I tell in my book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, of a man who asked me to speak the word that all his debts be wiped out. After the treatment, he said, "Now I'm thinking what I'll say to the people when I haven't the money to pay them." I even have to laugh at that one. A treatment won't help you if you haven't faith in it. Understand this, y'all. You do an affirmation, or as she said, a treatment for his debts to be wiped out, but he's already thinking about what he's going to say when he can't pay him. That shows a lack of faith. I know sometimes it's hard to have that faith. I know sometimes it's hard to believe what you're asking for is coming into your life. But believe. And as she goes on to say, a treatment won't help you if you haven't faith in it. For faith and expectancy impress the subconscious mind with the picture of fulfillment. In the 23rd Psalm we read, "He restoreth my soul." Your soul is your subconscious mind and must be restored with the right ideas. Whatever you feel deeply is impressed upon the subconscious and manifests in your affairs. If you are convinced that you are a failure, you will be a failure until you impress the subconscious with the conviction you are a success. This is done by making an affirmation which clicks. An affirmation which clicks. In other words, an affirmation that you believe. A friend in a meeting said that I had given her the statement as she was leaving the room. The ground you are on is harvest ground. Things with her had been very dull, but this statement clicked. Harvest ground, rang in her ears. Good things immediately commenced to come to her, and happy surprises. And let me add this. Hers was harvest ground. If you can't think of one like "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall never want," or "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," or if you know, "He restoreth my soul," if you can't come, or any other affirmation, just say thank you and feel it, and feel that your request is fulfilled. Thank you. As this woman, it was harvest ground. The reason it is necessary to make an affirmation is because repetition impresses the subconscious. You cannot control your thoughts at first. You can control your words. And Jesus Christ said, "By your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned." Every day, choose the right words. the right thoughts. The imaging faculty is the creative faculty. Out of the imaginations of the heart come the issues of life. We have all a bank we can draw upon, the bank of the imagination. Let us imagine ourselves rich, well, and happy. Imagine all our affairs in divine order, but leave the way of fulfillment to infinite intelligence. He has weapons ye know not of. He has channels which will surprise you. One of the most important passages in the 23rd Psalm is, Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. This means that even in the presence of the enemy situation, brought on by your thoughts, fears, or resentments, the way out is prepared for you. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall never want. And I'm going to encourage you to listen. Go to the Harry and Meghan playlist and find the topic I shall never want. I'll put a link up at the end, and listen to that in regards to them. You shall never want. You shall have the faith to continue on, to dream, to glorify your imagination to the point that when you come out of this imaginary meditation, you are surprised that this was not there yet. And you know at that moment that there is no doubt in your mind that what you desire the most, is in your grasp. Well, I hope that you enjoyed today's show. To be sure and like and subscribe, follow me on Facebook, X, that was used to be Twitter, Speaker, LinkedIn. Just find me. I'm Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and as you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so.